Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Midwest Motoring video. Today we've got a tool to review with you. It's a battery-powered half-inch impact. We don't do a whole lot of tool reviews. I think we did one for the Milwaukee tool chest you see behind me because frankly I was bored and wanted to show it off. But anyway, let's take a look. It is a half-inch impact from a company called SeeSii. Not one I would have normally gone out and discovered, but they asked me to take a look at it, so we're going to show it to you. Okay, here is the tool in question. It arrived in this case. I haven't really looked at anything inside yet. Initial impressions, it's, I don't know, it's a kind of a standard case. Nothing to write home about, but it is kind of neat that it's got some storage compartments here. Let's undo the latches and see what we got. Okay. Well, we've got some instructions. Comes with various sockets. Looks like we've got, what is this? 21 millimeter. It's probably 19. Yep. 19, 18, 17, and 14. And this is probably, yeah, 22. It's great that they put the spacing in a way that makes no sense. You get some extra O-rings, a charger. Go ahead and open that up so we could plug in the batteries for this. And then, of course, speaking of the batteries, you get a pair of these. Which actually, for the price of this tool, having a pair of batteries is really not a bad price at all. I mean, you need to compare it. They want you to compare it to the high-end Milwaukee gun and the high-end DeWalt gun. It looks like those higher-end ones with the bigger torque numbers, but I think you really ought to compare it to kind of the mid-torque versions. Because the torque numbers are more similar there. But yeah, so you get a couple of batteries with it. I'm not a huge fan of the packing that they use, but it'll do a good job protecting it. It feels like a tool. Got about 2/3 charge on the battery out of the box, so anyway, so let's charge up these batteries. I've got a test I'm going to put it through. Now we've got here our Triumph Spitfire test car, which we have used never. This is actually the first video we're using it in. I'm pretty confident in this kind of video you're supposed to show taking off a couple of lug nuts. So I could jack it up, but I'm a bit lazy. I'm just going to take off 2 of them. And then this is, just to be clear, my socket, because these are not metric, and only metric comes in the case. So if you're buying this for an old car, have a couple of impact sockets. You will need those, but let's see if it'll take these off. Wow. Look at that. That's not really a fair test, of course, because if you happen to know the torque spec on this, it's really low. So we're going to put this through something that's a little bit more difficult for it to do and see how it works. Okay, so like I said, that's not really a super fair test. So the manual here that comes with it is to be believed. You're not supposed to operate it in explosive atmospheres. Keep children and bystanders away. Stay alert. Basically, don't use it while sleeping. That would be dangerous. Yeah, here we go. Okay, specifications. They are claiming that this has a max nut busting torque of 664 foot-pounds. So, I think that a good test for this, I've got a nut and bolt set up here and my Milwaukee Fuel mid-range impact wrench, which supposedly will go up to 550 as the fastening torque. So in theory, if I put this nut on as tight as this gun is going to make it, that one should be able to take it off. Let's find out if it can. Okay, moved the vise there. And just to make this a little bit more of a challenge, that's a lock nut as well. Get rid of the extra nylon here. All right. This should be able to take it off. Let's see what happens. Actually easier than I thought. Okay, not bad. And then also full disclosure, see, does this have, oh, it does have it on the battery. Okay, batteries they come with. That wasn't a full battery. This is not the one that I've got on the charger. So the fact that it took it off easily, that's not bad. I mean, it's certainly tighter than I was planning on making it. So the fact that it came off, hey, that's great news. Let's try it again just for fun. We're going to get out quite literally the big guns. With this 3/4 impact. Let's see what happens here. Once again, in an ideal world, this will zip it right off. Let's find out. I did have to work a little bit harder, but yeah, actually, you know what? I'm impressed. No lug nut on your car, anyway, is going to need that kind of torque to pull a nut off, unless it's rusted in place, and even then, 99% of the time, that's going to be fine. So, yeah, test passed. Color me impressed. I do understand these batteries, I believe, are the same as, might be a Makita battery, but it's an everyday household brand name you could pick up from like a Home Depot or a Lowe's, and these batteries are interchangeable. So if you've already got those for tools, and double check me, it might not be Makita, but put something in the comments below if you know better than I do on that. But these batteries are interchangeable. So if you've got some other household tools using those same batteries, they are interchangeable. You don't have to swap systems. Okay, so actually, not a bad gun. I don't know what I was expecting out of it, but you know what? I'm happy with it. It took off some lug nuts on a Triumph Spitfire, which, let's be honest, a stiff breeze is going to do that, or driving it, or really just letting it idle. They'll just untorque themselves because the numbers are so low. But the fact that it did pretty well against the Milwaukee gun and the 3/4 impact, yeah, at least out of the box, this thing's not half bad. And certainly for the price point, it's a pretty decent value. So there's a link in the description below. I mean, these are roundabouts, $100 there, give or take. And I mean, for the same thing, right? So the Milwaukee gun that I used, just the tool, no battery, nothing with it, on Amazon is running like $150, $147, something like that. If you want a battery and a case and a charger, just a canvas case, not the plastic one, you're already like $330, $340, something like that. So for a third of the price of the middle range Milwaukee Impact, really this is not bad. And the torque levels on those are similar. They want you to compare it to the big DeWalt and the big Milwaukee. Don't do that. Those are, you know, much higher torque numbers than this. They are much more expensive too, just for the tool. But the mid-range ones they should be similar in terms of numbers. And this compared well. It was able to bust the torque and undo the nut. So yeah, I wouldn't be unhappy with this. You can interchange these batteries, and probably out of like your average Home Depot. So that's kind of cool. It'll certainly get the job done. So would I buy it? Well, I'm not looking for one. I already have my impact tools, and I like kind of keeping the same battery line, which again, you can still do that and have this tool. But if I didn't have one, and I were just looking, and I just wanted something to take the lug nuts off the car and basic maintenance tasks, yeah, actually this would get the job done. It's a lot cheaper than some of the other ones you can find. and we'll see. I mean, maybe it'll hold up well. I'm going to toss this in the race trailer. We're going to use it around the shop and then just kind of see how it holds up, so I'll report back on that. But again, out of the gate, I'm pleased with this. It's not bad. So if you want to look at this, there is a link in the description below. Please click on it if this is something that you wanted to take a closer look at. It does help the channel if you buy through the link, so thank you if you do go that route. But yeah, not a bad tool. So see you guys next time.